Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be?
Angel Reese, who just announced that she will defeat Caitlin Clark, is the star of the newest comedy show, and the WNBA is completely going crazy over it. If someone who has been preoccupied with sobbing over sideline drama and fabricating ailments is going to overthrow Clark, a living icon, not to mention her petulant tirades about salaries that aren't ideal. Angel has now been declared officially delusional.
Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball floor. Plain and simple.
To be honest, it's absurd. How does she believe she can outperform Clark, the player who consistently creates history? Making fun of herself is the only thing Reese has mastered thus far. However, it's possible that she is winning prizes for being pitiful. It certainly appears that way. Reese might want to look into her reputation before she talks about taking over the WNBA. She won't be the star if she switches coaches. She must first change her mindset.
Look, Angel Reese, there's nothing that she does where you go, did you see her?
Angel Reese seems to believe that she will become the next big thing in women's basketball by training with LeBron James's trainer, David Alexander. Yes, of course, if working with one of the top trainers in the world would make Reese superhuman, I'm prepared to overthrow Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is working hard to improve her shooting and playmaking while Reese is out there honing her overall movement patterns. The things that really count when you're striving to be the best player on the court, so, Angel, good luck. Clark is honing the abilities that have already eclipsed you as you work on whatever that may be. Even though Reese had a brief but enjoyable tenure at LSU, believing that she is on par with Clark would be like stating, I'm going to release a new album after singing in the shower for 5 minutes. That isn't competitive, it's diluted. Perhaps Reese was LSU's queen, but Clark, without a doubt, she is the basketball queen. While Caitlin is already out there altering the entire game, Reese is out here boasting about surpassing Clark. But sure, Reese, tell me more about how you're going to unseat a legend before you've even had any professional experience.
Camille, this is the most we've ever lost in our life. I only lost 7 games in my last 2 years at LSU. So it's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Let's go back to the 2023 NCAA championship now. I take it you recall it. Reese flips the "you can't see me" gesture back in Clark's face, desperately attempting to steal his shine with that juvenile taunt. Yes, that was a moment, but for all the wrong reasons. Clark was out there, still the best player on the court, easily outscoring everyone, even Reese. While Reese was busy using her hand movements to play WWE. Reese's major action, a pathetic attempt to gain attention by attempting to take center. Stage for, 5 seconds? Reese was merely trying to get attention, while Clark was too preoccupied with creating history that I can't make this stuff up.
There's no one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA.
In relation to statistics, what about Reese's WNBA debut? It was nothing to write home about, to put it mildly. With an average of 19.2 points per game and assists like if she's been in the WNBA for years, Caitlin Clark lights up the league. Reese, in the interim, 13.6 points every contest. In case anyone missed it, that is nearly 6 fewer than Clark. Oh, and don't forget, with 8.4 assists per game, Clark led all rookies. Reese was still trying to figure out how to make a consistent shot, but hey, she did her best right now. Let's move on to the Rookie of the Year award. Clark won it easily. It wasn't even close. Meanwhile, Reese only made it to the finals, which sounds like a participation trophy. At this point, Clark didn't just win. She entered the league and demonstrated that she was prepared to dominate Reese. She is attempting to catch up out here.
But they still ask you about Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
What is your stance on that?
So my whole thing was when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm cool. The pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm all right, cool, I could just hoop. So I don't know when it started to just break out where I was just in Rookie of the Year conversations. I'm all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
Well, yeah.
But hold on, things improve. Reese's life off the court has truly turned into a circus. She signed a partnership with Reebok for signature shoes. Whoa, That's revolutionary, a shoe contract for someone who hasn't even demonstrated her ability to perform at the top level on a regular basis. Yes, let's celebrate that. Reese, in the meantime, Clark is out here altering the course of events with each action she takes. Reese, too. She is interested with sharing her lifestyle on Instagram. It's adorable and all, but good luck if you believe that will help you defeat Clark. If I were you, I would start concentrating on basketball instead of how many likes your post. However, because Reese likes discussing money, let's talk about it. She is out here bragging about how costly life is and showcasing her $73,439 WNBA paycheck. You're not exactly living in a Beverly Hills mansion, Reese. So perhaps it's time to start budgeting more effectively. Clark, meanwhile, is taking care of her business, concentrating on the game, and obviously not concerned with the price of a Starbucks cappuccino. Let's now discuss this unparalleled league, which Reese hopes will be her big break. Point 34 of the best players in the world will compete in this 3x3 competition when it opens in January 2025. Indeed, it's a significant issue. All these top athletes are coming together. Reese, too, she is entering a den of lions. Look, I understand. Her meager $81,000 yearly WNBA salary will be greatly increased to $250,000 during the 8-week season. Yes, that's good, but here is the issue. She is competing against players who are entirely different. The real performance is what matters, not just the money or the headlines. As of right now, Reese's performance doesn't shout, "I'm ready for this competition." It yells, "I need a lot of work." This is where it gets even more juicy. Reese is joining a league that includes some of the world's most gifted athletes. Yes, Reese, you may have your sights set on the spotlight, but when it comes time to play, the people who can truly deliver will be the ones in the spotlight. Reese is in for a severe wake-up call if she believes that simply showing up and having fun would make her the next big thing. This has already been called an overestimation by critics, and to be honest, they may have a point. Reese isn't anywhere close to the caliber of players that have already established themselves at that level, but this league will undoubtedly be thrilling and full of elite skill. Therefore, even though she might be revealed, she could also be exposed. When you're up against the best, there's no hiding. This league may do one thing if Reese doesn't improve: show how far behind Clark she is, and perhaps even emphasize how far she still needs to go before being on an even playing field.
I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes.
Here's a reality check. The end of the day, Reese's remarks about surpassing Clark are just that, words. Talk is cheap, and it won't help her in her career as a professional basketball player. You wish to take on the greatest. You must be talented enough to support it. Reese's lips is currently working harder than her game. She makes all these audacious assertions, but the issue is that she lacks the expertise to make them a reality. Reese is still in the "I'll get there someday" stage, but Clark has already demonstrated that she is the real deal. Not to be overlooked is the fact that Clark continues to work hard and put in the necessary effort while Reese is receiving training from one of the top professionals in the field. Being the best is not something you can purchase. You can't expect to be able to defeat a legend by simply training with the best trainer. It requires years of commitment, steady work, and, above all, talent. Every time Clark on the court, she creates history, while Reese is busy receiving coaching on her general movement patterns. When Reese declares that she will overthrow Clark, what does it mean? Let's simply assume that she will only be overthrowing herself. This unparalleled league. Yes, it's a fantastic chance for Reese to gain some recognition, but let's face it, it might also be the point at which her and Clark's differences become even more glaringly apparent. When no one is truly confronting you, it's easy to talk about taking over. However, things become difficult when you face real elite competition. Furthermore, Reese is still much below Clark's current level. She will become a footnote in Clark's trip rather than the one to overthrow her if she doesn't improve and quit acting as though she already exists.